Hey everybody, watch this review here with a look at the Final Fantasy VIII Guardian Force Odin from the Final Fantasy figure action series produced by ArtFX. Not a very great series. I mean, I own a few. The only one that's really impressed me has been the Tiamat, but even then one of the arms fell off. I mean, I've had that thing for years, and within like the first week of actually owning it, the arm had fallen off. But I wasn't even gonna look at this one tonight. I was so very disappointed by the Cerberus, which you'll see in the other review that I'll be uploading shortly. The bit of package damage in this one, but nothing serious. The packaging's pretty bland. It shows an in-game sprite, then on the back it just has the same generic information. I'm just going to pause at this point. So, I originally bought this guy as a gift for somebody, but it turns out that they already have one, so I might keep him, I might trade him, I don't know. The other big reason, of course, I got him was just because it was cheaper when bundled with shipping, you know, just getting two figures for the price of, well, basically the price of one shipping. There's some paint fade up here, as you'll notice over here. I'm not sure if it's intentional or not, if it's just a matting effect, but he has really cool looking armor. I'm gonna get him and Slipnir out of all this crappy plastic. He's got they have black quills here. I assume that whoever owned him originally displayed him at one point because there's some mild package damage. And the little wraps are a different color than the clear through ones on the Cerberus. Let me quickly open it. Alright, so about half a dozen little twisties later, I finally get both of them out of package. As you'll notice, the Slipnir, this is just a solid piece. It has one point of articulation. Guess where? Wii, right? Very fun. Saddle looks like it's removable, but it might just be a separate piece glued on. Not gonna find out. Facial detail is pretty freaking cool. Look at that. Stranged. I don't know if you ever got a really great look at his face in the... Oh, sorry. Lighting source. Interrupted the shot. Really terrible with blocking and, you know, just the general lighting. But yeah, I mean, he looks really great with the amount of articulation, well, not the amount of sculpt and detail on the figure, just in terms of the massive amount of sinew that you can see. Or sinew, I don't know how to pronounce it offhand, but very, very nice looking. I'll have to try having him ride it. As for the Odin sculpt, and I really like the paint job. It's a very Celtic-like look, although he shouldn't have a Celtic look because he's a Norse god, but for the armor, just between the intertwining horseshoes and so forth, which I believe that's what they are. There's some paint fade, which might just be production error, or it might just be because it had some sun exposure. Either way, it's nothing like really serious. I like this logo in the back. I guess these came out in 1999, as you can see here. But he's really cool looking. He's got limited oh shit. Yeah, this series, as I mentioned before, the Tiamat, has really, really terrible articulation in terms of the joints actually staying in and doing what they should, but as you can see, he's got some variation of a ball joint, or a ball joint in the traditional sense there. Both legs can move up, out a bit, but cape hampers movement. I wouldn't remove the cape. I assume that's probably attached by a peg, but it's one of those things you'll want to find out. He has articulation at the frickin' knee, but you know, the joint is really stiff because he may never been out of package. No ankle articulation. Fucking hell. Sorry, losing a little temper here, because also he has a little glitter effect with the armor. The camera probably won't catch that, but It's black paint with a little glitter. But I mean, when I first was messing around with this figure off camera, I was using the left leg for some reason. I mean, I alternate between playing with the left side and the right side of the figure just to figure out what points of articulation to highlight, but the left side, everything works fine. The leg goes up fine, comes down fine, knees fine, arm was fine. Well, because I assumed that was a ball joint, but when I was first playing around with him, I didn't push it quite so far. Wow. I'm going to try attaching that later, but arms will go up, they will not come out. Or they will come out, but you don't want them coming out. And of course, the wrists do turn. I mean, the elbows do turn. No articulation at wrist or in hand. The head articulation's at the neck or upper neck, which I think is a cool feature, but I mean, to each their own. Now, if you look at the paint detailing up here and then compare it with the back, it looks like there might be missing paint detail, or it might have just been done for dramatic effect. I can't tell which. I mean, because the actual armor's got a great paint job in terms of just the matted armor, the matted colors, which make it look like it's got an excessive amount of wear, because Odin is a massive warrior. I mean, not the... there we go. The real Odin, the All-Father, but this particular Odin. After he, I don't know if I want to spoil it, but he does get killed in FF8, and then his sword gets taken by Gilgamesh. Of course, if you get him at a certain point, he won't be killed. I mean, if you get him earlier on to the game, he attempts to kill somebody, then... oh shit, I probably shouldn't have revealed that, but he ends up getting killed, then he loses Zantetsuken to, yeah, a real Norse-sounding sword name, right? Zantetsuken. Of course, I don't believe Odin even used a sword remotely like that. I think he had something like the Odin sword or something, or maybe I'm just confusing it with the whole stuff from the Marvel. But, I mean, it's a nice looking sword, besides that. Just, it's kind of silly. The detailing of the sword's not as fine, and the hilt looks kind of ugly. It's just a paint, a solid yellow. It doesn't even look metallic, but everything else on him looks really metallic, really cool. Shines. I mean, even the cape has a really nice effect, as mentioned, with the intricacies on the back of the cape. And the mark of a great sculpt is having stuff that people will never see. I mean, the other day I was bashing on Mongol. Let me just pull him out. Because I thought it was like a really generic sculpt and so forth, but when, you know, push comes to shove, he did have something that really made him somewhat unique. Actually, I don't know if my voice is even carrying all that way, but anyway, here we go. The other day I was looking at Mongol. I figured, you know, he has a really generic looking sculpt. Sorry if you didn't hear anything I just said, because I had to go over and grab him off the computer desk. I have a whole bunch of figures, but if you hold up his foot here, you'll notice that they went to the trouble of putting the treads and everything in, which you don't always see. I mean, even with the Marvel Legends and so forth. Let me just pull a quick example. In this case, it's going to be... do I still have Cyclops around? Yes, I do. Cyclops, for instance, they went lazy on. This is an actual Toy Biz one, not the Hasbro ones. So if they cut corners on Hasbro, people would go, oh yeah, fine, but it's a Hasbro. I mean, they're kind of chintzy, but this is the Toy Biz one. It's a fairly nice looking figure, but they just didn't really go to all that much trouble on the stuff. But you know, when you have detail that people aren't as likely to see, it really means a lot. Although, I mean, even these have some detailing in the back, but so I guess it's probably not the greatest of examples, but I mean, if you take off the cape, it does look like he has an excessive amount of same amount of detailing there. From the sides, there's like a green tinge here. I'm not sure what that represents, but it looks sort of cool. I guess it's a way of differentiating cape, but check it out. check. Shoot. I'm not going to use this. I'm just quickly running out of time, but he can ride the horse, but you'd have to take off the cape to do it. See? Not a good representation, and I need to switch that styrofoam thing with a cloth thing at some point. There are also like footholds in the top. I assume you can probably put his feet there, but haven't tried it. Overall, this I think is a pretty solid buy from the series, just because it does have a good amount of detail. It will stand once you manipulate it a bit. Of course, the cape is a bit longer than the feet in some areas, so that can impede it if the cape's not on straight and the feet aren't out as far as they can be, or if you didn't attach the leg back right. I mean, it has the same flaws as all the other figures in the series, but that's just my general opinion, and frankly, I probably would buy him again. Cerberus, no, but he's a nice looking one, so